Okay, we're just gonna assume that's good to go. Oh my goodness, losing balance. How are we? It's where are we in the week? It's Tuesday, off a week. I think I just prefer thinking about what week it is these days, to be honest. I don't even know what the date is. Well, it's the 14th of May. Week 20, wow. What is going on, the magical number, week 20? It's, the last 2 days, something really interesting from yesterday was, I think for the first time since I've been creating content properly, I had what only felt like writer's block or something. I literally, I'm not exaggerating, I was not able to put any words down on paper or type any words. I just could not. Like, I had the topic in front of me. The process is pretty simple now. It's like, I've got a long list of ideas or topics I can write about. I pick 5 to 10. I do a draft for 5 to 10 once a week, and then I select 5 or 6, and then I edit those posts a few days later. And that's working really well. As I said to someone recently, the challenge or the difficulty around creating content, maybe I said this in a video, I just feel like the barrier of entry to me creating content is gone now. It's so much lower. It's like a much more simple process. It feels way less daunting, is what I'm trying to say, sorry. So anyway, don't know what happened, but I did the good old change of scenery this morning. Went to a coffee shop. After dropping my daughter off at creche, and smashed out some stuff for a couple of hours, and it's good. So that's probably the main thing I've overcome so far this week. And what an interesting call today. That was probably our main thing on the business front of note. So really interesting from my perspective on how this is playing out. So yesterday was sorry, I'm going to go off on a tangent again, but yesterday was the 11th month officially. I came up with, or I confirmed the idea for what I'm doing with FlexOps on the 13th of June 2023. I didn't get the website, I didn't really start promoting anything. I basically didn't do anything for the first month. Cited the name, got the website URL, and that was pretty much it. It didn't even launch the website properly until early July. But I suppose the anniversary date is the 13th of June. So anyhow, we're in month 12 now, and I started posting content on LinkedIn, as I say, early July, but it was probably more like August, September, where I was like, right, I think I know what I need to do here, which is show my expertise or communicate what I'm doing and why I'm doing it through LinkedIn. So it's been 9-10 months now of posting and connecting with people. And I think it's fair to say what I've seen in the last 2 weeks, maybe up to the last 6 weeks, is that there's a group of people that I've connected with somewhere in the region of the last 6 to 9 months that are now reaching out to me and saying, hey Ross, been following along for the last few months, like what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. That is it feels like a very long time, but when you think about it in the context of they're not seeing every post, I think that's another misconception I have about certain things. Like the person I chatted to today, if I've posted 150 times, they've maybe seen 20 of my posts, maybe, let's say 1 a week or something, maybe a bit more than that, I don't know. But they're not seeing every post, so they're seeing a select few, and I think over a 6-month period, let's say they've seen 20 or 30 posts out of my 150 or whatever it is. That probably paints a fairly realistic picture of how this is going. So it's connecting, reading the content, maybe timing comes into it then. So for example, the person I spoke to today, they booked a call with me because they feel like they're at a certain point with their business, but it took them 6 months since I connected with them to get to that point. So yeah, it's really interesting for me. I got a couple of perspectives on this then as well, just from general conversations today, and I think it's fair to say that you might be too pushy, or you could sell a bad service, or you could sell something poorly to that person too soon. Ultimately, if they like what I'm providing and I sell it in the right way, I probably could have messaged that person sooner than waiting for them to reach out to me 6 months later. So I don't know, there's something there. There's a few things I need to unpack for myself there, and there's a few things I want to put a bit of structure around. But fundamentally, I'm seeing people in that time frame now coming to me, and I think it's A, exciting, and it's B, what you want, because these are people that I'm not even, I'm not messaging these people. These are literally, they're inbound leads. I mean, you don't need to overcomplicate it. They're inbound leads via LinkedIn, and geez, if you get a handful of those a month, I mean, you really will start to notice a difference. So anyway, yeah, I think pipeline wise, quick update, promising I've got 3, 4, 5, sorry, I just see it there, 5 leads that are promising / I'm working on trying to close them, which is good. It's quite a lot for me, in fairness, as I've talked about a couple of times on this. I'm not operating a business where I need to have 50 to 100 leads I'm trying to close. Like, if I have up to 5 people at any one point in time I'm trying to close, that is high for me. So yeah, it's busy on that front. That is very much the priority. I think it's a good example as well, where I've talked about this to clients recently. It's like, sometimes whenever you maybe wake up or you maybe get into the flow of things in the day and you're struggling to prioritize and things like that, all of a sudden your priorities almost show themselves, or like kind of slap you in the face, because the priority for me off the back of that call earlier today that went really well, that all of a sudden now, that follow-up email, that's the priority. Don't need to overthink this. But again, it comes back to the stuff on that whiteboard, it comes back to the stuff there that's on a list of things today. Like, the key thing for me is still adding the right clients into the mix and doing great work for them. And ironically, I do have to take my own advice, as I've said before at points. That's the type of thing I encourage clients to think about, because in reality that's the same for all agencies. Did a post earlier today about retention versus new business, and a lot of my updates at the moment are on new clients, pipeline, etc. We're getting to a point, for me personally, very soon, where 75-80% of my effort is going to be on retention and growth. And me growing accounts is one I haven't tremendously thought about. I haven't built a model, or I don't have a business model that I'm upselling necessarily. It's more like there's a cross-sell option, which I'll talk more about in time. But for me, the upsell is less important, but the retention is critical. And what I don't want to have a cycle of is a short relationship with many clients. Like, I can help clients for 3 months and agree that that's enough occasionally. I can help clients for 6 months and agree that that's enough occasionally. I really want to see clients sticking with me for between 6 to 12 months at least, and then have a selection that are longer term. That's a healthy model for me in this type of business I have. So the post earlier I did on retention versus new business was just that I wouldn't want to fall into the trap that I'm describing there, which is that the new business opportunities are like the golden nuggets or the shiny object. They're really appealing and they're nice to talk about. That gives you a bit of a buzz. But the heart of your business is in retaining the great clients that you've won already. So like, my focus is on, it's literally on this side of the screen for what it's worth. My focus is on that client list. There are people on that list now that have been with me for 10 months, which is incredible. I can't forget that for a second, because they're the priority, and keeping these people and building towards what we're talking about is essentially my service. So I have to focus on doing that really well. And yeah, it's nice to hop on a video like this and give people a great update about pipeline, promising leads, and blah blah blah. But that right there that's what it's all about for me. So anyway, lots of rambling, lots of thoughts. My mind is moving at quite a fast pace today. I think it's funny because yesterday it was the opposite. As I say, that kind of brain fog / writer's block meant it was quite a slow day. And now I feel like there's just this like outburst of energy, or I suppose probably there's a few things I maybe need to move quicker on to get them done today is the other thing. So what's coming up for the rest of the week then? Yeah, I don't know. This has just turned into very much a business update, which is fine. Kind of very random things, but anyhow. The rest of the week is, I'm just looking at the calendar behind the camera. It's a good mix of calls and work, to be honest. I don't have any client sessions now for the rest of this week. One was moved until next week, so oh yeah, I'm actually off next week for the bulk of the week, so that'll be interesting. I say interesting, it'll be fine. I mean, there's nothing booked in, so there's no reason why I needed to be online. I'll work Monday and then I'm off for the rest of the week, so that'll be a nice break. How much of a break I'll actually take? I'll probably still be active on LinkedIn, in fairness. I don't think that's something you can really stop as a business owner, or at least in my position, based on how I've set myself up. But that's next week. This week is a good blend of intro calls and doing client work. Then the following week is, yeah, it's a big week for client sessions. I'm excited but also nervous because kind of similar to last month, there's a lot kind of bunched together, and that's fine. It's very manageable. I just know I'm tired at the end of those days. So anyway, that is all. I have rattled through God knows what. Sometimes I have to listen back to these videos and be like, what the hell did I just talk about? Because already, apart from talking about writer's block and a good intro call, I've forgotten. So to go and pick up my car, which is having a service done, which is always exciting. And then, yeah, that'll pretty much be it for today. So, quick update. Who knows when I'll be back? Probably tomorrow. Got one or two things in my mind I might talk about in some detail, but we'll see how I go. Alrighty.